Bonjour, Baroskis. Ever wish that celebrities and influencers use their platform and wealth to address the societal collapse and inevitable man-made destruction that the richest send in motion, dooming all of humanity as they desperately invest in space travel? So today's topic is on pigeons. Let me tell you, I was not at all aware of how confusing and cutthroat the rules of pigeons is. This is planned to be essentially a slideshow of different colored pigeons, but my unsuspecting waltz into the burger joint turned into a mafia leader boyfriend POV somehow. So let's start with the basics. What is a pigeon? No one knows. Pigeons are often confused with doves because they're the same thing, but not? The consensus that I found was that pigeons are bigger than doves, and that's really it. But that still doesn't answer what a pigeon is. And boy howdy, what a roundabout answer I was given. Do you want a domestic pigeon or a feral pigeon? Who would have guessed? It's not just pigeon. A pigeon is a bird, and that should be the end of the sentence. Like a German Shepherd is a dog, and orange is a cat. What do you mean there's more classifications in defining pigeons? So let's go with, the domestic pigeon. Whomst is you? Well, they're descended from rock doves. What's a rock dove? I don't know, but they're also called rock pigeons, common pigeons, or just pigeons. So we're back at square one. On the evolutionary line of pigeons, we aren't even at the end right now, because feral pigeons are descended from domestic pigeons. Do we think that there's an agreed upon name here? Do you think they're only called feral pigeons? Or do we also want to call them city doves, city pigeons, or street pigeons? Heck, why not throw street doves in there too? Or maybe feral doves? Who cares? Little linguistic rant here, but normally languages have specific words depending on characteristics for animals, like a bull for an adult male cow and a calf for a baby, or for the sex, there's a dog for a male and a... we don't need this many names for pigeons. I went into this naive and excited to share pictures of funny-looking pigeons, but it very quickly turned into unbridled anger. So let's step away for a moment. None of that matters because pigeons are from the Mediterranean area, so technically pigeon isn't even its name. And let's turn that anger into despair by realizing that pigeons are used to cliffs and seasides of the Mediterranean, so they hide up on buildings because it's in their instincts to be tall and they don't mean to be a burden. They're just trying to recreate the sense of a home that they'll never get to experience due to human involvement. These poor babies were first mentioned in Mesopotamia 5,000 years ago, so they've been making the rounds for thousands of years as the hottest animal for humans. Not to look at, but to eat, as babies. They ate baby pigeons. Well, more like a toddler or a teenager, I guess. Their prime time for meat was apparently right before they left the nest. These poor things never even got a taste of freedom. They were brought over to North America by the colonists, with many favoring them for one reason or another, ranging from pigeon mail to beauty contests. They're also an invasive species, so really, a perfect pet for colonizers. The only thing they're known for now is pooping and posing. Posing, you may ask? Would you believe that there are pigeon breeders out there who don't deal with your average pigeon? And what could these pigeons possibly be called? Fancy pigeons. These are some of the weirdest birds that I have ever seen. Here's a little collage, but I've included a link in the description for the website I got these from, so you could look at more ridiculous pigeons too. Personally, I like the king pigeon, which is the most chicken-looking pigeon I've ever seen before. Another thing most people know pigeons for is their homing ability. Set one of these suckers loose, and they can turn into a living boomerang. Only for some of the breeds, though, which led me to quite possibly the funniest beef I've ever seen. The pigeons with the homing ability are called... we'll call them homing pigeons. But what most people consider homing pigeons are actually English carrier pigeons, which lost their homing ability. And pigeon people get very upset if you confuse them. And I don't know if you noticed yet, but pigeon people aren't very good at naming either, so I don't think the English carrier pigeon will be getting a makeover anytime soon. I also found that pigeons are experimented on for science, and as I prepared myself for the most gut-wrenching, horrific story of what humanity is capable of, my eyes accidentally skipped to pigeons have been trained to distinguish between Cubist and Impressionist paintings. Excuse me? This is the first sentence in the Wikipedia subsection. What the heck? It then linked me to the Pigeon Intelligence page, and I don't have enough time to unpack that whirlwind of emotions. I will also never in my life have enough time to unpack the fact that pigeons and college students perform the same on these tests. I have the same mental capabilities of a pigeon to distinguish between different styles of painting. It's good to know that if I ever have trouble with a CAPTCHA, I can just grab the closest pigeon to help me out. Hope you enjoyed my mental breakdown over pigeons. I don't think I'll ever recover. Anyways, ciao!